Good evening, folks. Hello, welcome to 9-0. That is a statement that the Cleveland Cavaliers have never made. The fans have never heard. That is something that has never happened before. But here they've come. Here we are. Cheers. This is water, by the way. Cheers to 9-0. I haven't lost, huh? Every night, the Cavs start hot, and then sometimes, like tonight, they go cold. They're down by 14, and before the first half is even over, they're back in the lead. I mean, what one word can you use to describe 9-0? Maybe you go the Gambit route. Wait a long time for this. Woo! That maybe. I mean, it doesn't matter. The Pelicans were down 4 starters, rotation players. It helped when they made their first run that Zion was not able to play, that he took himself out, went to the locker room, because the second half impact he had and some of the whistles he was getting in his favor. My. Brandon Ingram. Surprised they went away from Yves Missi in the second half. Felt like he was getting going early. Jose Alvarado at 7 3-pointers. What? Let's just look at the Pelicans stats first, because all right, Jose Alvarado was 7 for 7 on threes, 10 for 14 overall, 27 points, 5 assists, 3 steals. Thankfully, the Pelicans don't really have a bench. Jordan Hawkins went 1 for 7. Daniel Tice only played 5 first half minutes. Javonte Green had 11 points. Jeremiah Robinson-Earl only took 3 shots. Yves Missi only played 18 minutes, had 10 and 8. They decided to go Robinson-Earl instead. Brandon Boston, 14 points. Brandon Ingram, 20 and 5 with 5 assists, but shot just 9 for 20. Zion ended up with 29, 8 and 4. He missed most of the first half, played almost the entire second half. He was really the only concern in this game, the way he got fouls on Mobley and Allen with such regularity and was able to kind of create for New Orleans. He's the only Pelican that, other than Alvarado, that was a consistent threat. Ingram struggled. Ingram couldn't get it going. And on the Cavs side, man, 50 bench points. 50. Caris LeVert, 16, 6 and 6. Welcome back. George Niang, 9 points on 8 shots. He even had a block. Sam Merrill only had 9 points, but it seemed that they all came when they needed them. 2 fourth-quarter triples, couple of rebounds for him. Ty Jerome, 11, 3 and 5 in his 15 minutes. Jared Allen, another double-double, 16 and 14. Evan Mobley, 15, 9, 3 blocks. He fouled out, but it's the Zion effect. Darius Garland only shot the ball 10 times, but had 14 and 9 assists. He knew his role tonight, find other guys, get them going. Donovan Mitchell, 10 for 20, but really took over late in the game. He shot 8 for 11 inside the arc. Made all 6 of his free throws, including getting 2 3-point plays in the closing moments. Thank you, Donovan Mitchell. Here's the thing. If it ain't Darius, it's Donovan. If it ain't Donovan, it's Darius. If it ain't either of them, it's both of them. You always get at least one of these 2 all-star level guards playing at a high level, and that is what is a huge part of this 9-0 beginning. It's these 2 guards, both with all-star experience, both with a lot of time in Cleveland now. They know when it's their time. The return of Caris LeVert certainly paying off. It was, certainly startling at that one point in the first half. The Cavs rolled out a lineup that Dallas Mavericks coach Rick Carlisle will be smiling at. The only problem was, the Cavaliers played 3 point guards at the same time, but the problem is they don't all share a birthday. Like Darren Williams, Raymond Felton, and J.J. Barea, who once were the backcourt at once for the Dallas Mavericks. They all played at the same time. The Cavs are playing Darius Garland, Craig Porter, and Ty Jerome together for a couple minutes in a row. They played that lineup with Okoro and with Mobley. It actually worked. The Cavs were able to knock in a couple of triples at that point. They did give up plenty of offense. Grand Theft Alvarado made his moment where he stands among the crowd and all of a sudden gets a steal. It's crazy. He makes it work in the NBA, just so unassuming when he's going to do it. It was a lineup you're certainly surprised actually shared the court together, but hey, it worked, right? It worked. It caught on the court and it worked. But Donovan Mitchell with 29, to me, biggest stat in this game and something I took note of at halftime was that Jerome and Porter had more points than Mitchell and Garland in the first half. They didn't score any in the second half, but Porter didn't play and Jerome only took 1 shot in the fourth quarter. But that is something. 12 points for the Cavs starting backcourt that normally averages a combined 45, 46. Donovan Mitchell was just conference player of the week. But hey, they got going in the second half. They took care of business, and they were able to overcome the foul trouble of Mobley, who only played 28 minutes because of it. Niang and LeVert, Merrill, they all made timely plays. They know their role. Kenny Atkinson is just a great, great coach. He is perfect for Cleveland. That's what they were missing here. They just needed him to be around to coach. They haven't lost with him. Not once. Waiting for that first loss. When are they going to lose a game with? Honestly, we're not waiting for that first loss. Hopefully it never happens, but it will happen. Friday night is going to be the hardest game of the season. It's not going to be close. They beat the... All right, so let's go through this schedule here. How did the Cavs get to 9-0? Woo, that's fun to say. They hadn't been 8-0 in 48 years. They were never 9-0. So it's always funny how this works because the Cavs went 0-4 in preseason. They lost to Chicago, Indy, Detroit, and Chicago. First, they beat the Raptors by 30. Then they beat the Pistons by 12. Then they beat the Wizards by 19. Last Monday, they beat the Knicks at MSG 110-104. The Knicks have proven to be shorthanded. The Wizards start 3 rookies now. The Pistons lost a buzzer beater tonight. They don't seem to close games out. I got Kenny on the post game here in the background. So 4 games. Raptors are all banged up. Detroit. Sorry. The Wizards are all rookies, young guys, and Jordan Poole. The Knicks have no bench. The Lakers also have no bench, beat them by 24. They beat the Magic by 11. Very impressive. Although Paolo was already out by then. So they beat a shorthanded Magic team. Then they beat the Bucks by 1. That counts. They had Giannis and Dame. Then they beat the Bucks again. No Giannis, but they had Dame. They won by 2. Now they beat the Pelicans, who were shorthanded. But every single team, though, had something because the Bucks didn't have Middleton. They're shorthanded on the bench. Next week, or this weekend's going to be interesting. Next 5 games, if they try to stay perfect, if they can clear the Warriors. They've got the Nets and Bulls. Then a tough one with the Sixers. Although Joel Embiid might not be playing against the Sixers because he's supposed to make his debut against the Knicks, which was already confirmed by Shams Charania. It's a season debut. It's like, I'm not playing back-to-backs. Sorry. So Embiid might sit. If Embiid sits, that's a major advantage to the Cavs front court, especially with how sloppy Andre Drummond has been. They only have Gershon Yabusele outside of him at the big. Then they get the Bulls again. Now, I'm not saying the Bulls are a cakewalk because they're not. They added Josh Giddey, point guard playmaking. They're going to have Zach LaVine. Kobe White continue to raise his game. Beyond that, Charlotte, they got Boston on November 19th, which is going to be a blast. Second round rematch. Then they got the Pelicans again. They got a few days off. We'll see. Actually, I'm also seeing right now the Cavaliers play in the afternoon on Black Friday. I don't think I've ever seen that before. NBA's doing Black Friday afternoon games? Okay, sign me up. Why not? Sure. Bada bing, bada boom. Let's do it. But 9-0. Kenny Atkinson effect is real, people. It's Kenny Atkinson. It's Kenny freaking Atkinson, depending on who you ask. And if you ask his mother, she'd say, Kenneth Neal Atkinson, because that is Kenny's real name. It'll be Kenny's mom, Pauline. Cannot actually confirm if this is actually his mom or how his mom is doing, but there is a Pauline Atkinson who shows up when you click on Wikipedia under Kenny Atkinson's mom, who has an IMDb credit. Anyway, Cavs have done a lot of winning. They're 9-0. Shout out to Kenny. Donovan Mitchell showed up. Darius Garland has showed up. Caris LeVert back. Sam the Man, George Niang. A lot of these guys came into the league with undefined roles. Don't know what's going to happen. Craig Porter, undrafted, ended up getting a standard contract. Ty Jerome, injured, had to prove himself a couple times over. Sam Merrill won a championship and then barely saw NBA minutes for a few years. Georges Niang came in as well on a two-way contract in the NBA. He's making a difference. Okoro's had his role changed 25 times in Cleveland, but still comes in and makes an impact in whatever's asked of him. All these guys, and obviously the rest of them expected to be stars. Jared Allen, lottery pick. Mobley, top 3. Garland, top 5. Mitchell, lottery pick. They're expected to be very good. LeVert also had some expectations coming out of Michigan. Kenny Atkinson coached Kenny. He coached Caris and he coached Allen in Brooklyn. He knows them. He knows what it takes to win. This is the best team he's ever had where he's been the head coach. He was the missing ingredient. A lot of people had him as one of their favorites. There were some other assistants around the league that we would have wanted, but it's worked out nicely. The Cavs are 9-0. Make sure when you go to work tomorrow, you're wearing your favorite jersey and yelling, let them know at whoever's trying to say anything to you, because the Cavs are 9-0. What can they say now? See you Friday.